Welcome to a Piano Book exclusive looking at a cassette plugin. I found this by typing cassette plugin into Google, and this was the first one that came up. So well done, Waves Factory, for getting to the top of the listings in Google. It's certainly a very attractive looking plugin. It was very easy, quick to download. I got to pay with Apple Pay, which makes me feel a bit safe. And then they emailed me a link and a serial number, and I just had to authorize that serial number when I first opened up the plugin. What I've done is I've loaded my current favorite piano, which is me playing an old felt piano from our Broth in the Hall Air Studios. And here's Waves Factory cassette. Let's just put that into bypass for now. And then in its default setting, which is great. Now if we look at the different input levels, you can actually overdrive the tape, and it's a nice overdrive, that. Unlike these kind of amp simulators, which I find a little bit kind of unwieldy when you add them onto something like a piano. And I guess home is just a less refined sound. There's a bit of whir and flutter, or wow and flutter. You can hear the pitch changing. And then we've got the micro cassette dictaphone. You can really hear the EQ profile change there. Go back to Pro. Let's have a look at the various different knobs that we have here. So we've got our erasures. The more you erase a tape, the kind of duller it gets, and that is echoed with this knob. So spread, I imagine, is stereo to mono to give you a more authentic kind of monophonic cassette sound, I guess. And the stability doesn't have much effect at the moment. We'll return to that. Static. This is the thing that I would probably jump on straight away. I'm sorry, but modern TV engineers are not going to stand for that kind of level of hiss. So nice to add just a bit of presence in there. Dynamic. Kind of almost sounds like a compressor or a limiter in there, and then artifacts. And that's where we get some of this wobble and stuff. Right, so I thought, well, it's not a huge number of different kind of things that you can do with it until I saw that there were all of these lovely presets. So if we go to 1978, actually the cassette changes, which is, oh, look at that. It brings back actually emotional kind of response in me, because I was such a kind of cassette boy. I had a 4-track when I was, I think, about 15. So you'd kind of, the quality of cassettes were real. I mean, that cassette, I remember, cost about £7, which in those days was loads. I think that I wasn't changing anything, but actually just what cassette kind of image that I'm looking at. So this is my favourite one, it's most expensive. 1978. Whoa, boy. And I'm kind of realising, well, none of those knobs made that much of a difference. So actually, if you go in here, you go, way, hallelujah. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take everything down. We'll just go through some of this stuff. Now, I've been through all of the presets, and none of them really kind of nail the zeitgeist, and all of them need just a little bit of kind of reining in. They're all a little bit effectsy, if you know what I mean. So let's just have a listen to what these different things do. Bypass it. So it's not really affecting it at all. That's probably because mix is all the way down. So let's bring that up, and I'm going to turn the static down. Let's just bring in these different things. So frequency response. Okay, you can hear the EQ changes there. Let's keep it on Pro. We've got saturation. I guess will allow me to do this little monkey. Compression, which I imagine, I really like this. Great. I imagine that would require me reading the manual, which I'm not going to do, and oversampling. Let's have a look at crosstalk. Really very much changes the stereo image. Cassette, I really like this. It's like you've taped it and then taped it again. Interesting. I'll keep it at 2. And then we've got our wow and flutter, and these are the pitchy stuff. So these are dependent on each other. So we've got our depth and our rate. And then the flutter is a faster, if I believe. With either one of these can sound a bit vibrato-y. So if we combine them, I think you'll get more of a kind of a random. This kind of randomizes them, I believe. Has more of that kind of mechanical randomness to it. And then we've got our degradation depth. Dropouts, depth and rate. And I've got these random snaps which are fun. And take the snaps out. And that was the kind of sound I was imagining. It'd be interesting just to see how this affects like a pad signal, which I have on this piano that we made. So let's take sets off. Interesting was actually made with a couple of, with 3 different tape-based units. So let's have a listen with cassette on. Fascinating. I think what I like about it is it adds a naivety into these kind of epic sounds that we tend to gravitate towards. It brings the intimacy and the aperture in. Anyway, I paid for the plugin, so this is not a sponsored deep dive, and I think I'll be looking at some other cassette plugins too, because I have a real affection for cassettes and what they can do to our music, just bringing them in, making us kind of truer to ourselves. The Waves Factory plugin is linked below, along with the Spitfire Originals Cinematic Soft Piano. Thanks for watching. Do subscribe. There's going to be loads of little exclusive nubbins coming to the Piano Book YouTube over the next coming days, weeks and months. And ding the bell if you want to be notified the next time I put one of these up. One of those for Waves Factory. I like it.